Hello, I am Eva and welcome to my channel. Today's video I'm going to be picking my June TBR using this TBR container. A lot of people use a jar. I don't have a jar to use, so we're using this container that I used to keep my makeup wipes in. So I think I'm going to pick 7 books. I usually read like 10 books a month, but I still want to have room to like mood read too, because I know like I'll probably go off track and read one book that's like not even on my TBR. So I think I'm gonna pick 7 books. I have a ton of prompts in here. It is filled to the brim. Some of them are pretty straightforward, like choose a romance book, choose a book with blue on the cover. And then there's other ones that are more complicated, and if we pick one of those, I'll explain it more. So if we have to generate something like a number generator or something, I'm gonna pull up my laptop. I film with my phone, so the only other option I have is my laptop. So enough with intro, let's pick our first prompt. I just added a bunch of new ones in here, so it is filled to the brim. Okay, now I'm gonna close my eyes. One fell out. Go with this one. Okay, choose a book from shelf 1. So I have 3 shelves. The one over there that mostly has romance, I consider shelf 1. This one I consider shelf 2, which mostly has fantasy. And then the one back there that you can see right there, that's shelf 3. So I'm gonna be choosing one from my romance shelf. I am going to show you it and then pick a book from it. So here's my shelf 1. Don't mind my clothes over there. This is shelf 1. It's all romance, and I have 2 I can see that I want to pick from. I'll show you which ones they are. The 2 books I chose that I could possibly pick for this one is The X-Vows by Jessica Joyce. I've heard a lot of good things about this one and You with a View, but I think I want to read this one more first. So I have this one, and then the second book I've put on my TBR for at least 2 months in a row, maybe more. That is Part of Your World by Abby Jimenez. A lot of people love Abby Jimenez, and I have not read a book by her yet. I own this whole series, and I want to read Just for the Summer, which is the 3rd one, by the end of August. If I want to do that, I want to read this one first. So I think I'm going to go with this one for the at least 3rd month running on my TBR. Choose a book from shelf 1. I picked Part of Your World. That's our first book on our TBR. Now time to pick the second one. I'm going to shake it up first. Let's see. Got this one. Let's see what it is. Book with a cartoon cover. Basically, any romance book I own, I feel like a lot of them have cartoon covers. I'm gonna go take a peek and I'll come back. Okay, I grabbed 4 different options. I have even more than that are cartoony, but these are the 4 I'm leaning towards. So I, again, have The X-Vows by Jessica Joyce, as well as You with a View by Jessica Joyce. And then I have Girl Abroad by Elle Kennedy. I love the Off-Campus series by Elle Kennedy, but I haven't heard that much about this book, and most of what I have heard is that it's just kind of like okay. I've owned this for probably like a year, so I want to get to it soon. But I have a 4th option that I think I'm gonna go with is Funny Story by Emily Henry. I also had this on my May TBR but didn't get around to it. I think I'm gonna go with this again because Emily Henry books just give me spring summer vibes. So prompt 2, a book with a cartoon cover, is Funny Story. Okay, so we have 5 more to pick. Give it a good shake again. I'm gonna pick one from this corner. Okay, got one. A book where the main character is older than me. Okay, that shouldn't be too hard. I'm only 20, so I feel like I have a good amount of books that fit that. The only ones that I think don't are like any YA fantasy books I have. So basically this whole shelf is out. Sorry if the camera angle changed. When I pressed play again, my phone almost fell over. So I have a ton of options for this, but I already know which one I'm choosing. So I'm just going to show you the one I'm choosing, and that is Phone Finish by Elsie Silver. Our main character is 26, and this is the second book in the Gold Rush Ranch series, and I really want to finish this series this year, so I might as well put this one on this month's TBR. And I want to get to it this month, but then I ended up binge reading the whole Boys of Tallman series, which took up a lot of the month. This follows Cole Harding and Violet Eaton, which her brothers are the main characters in the Chestnut Spring series, which is Elsie Silver's more popular series. And Cole Harding is the brother of our main character, Vaughn, from the first book. And Violet is a groomer turned jockey from the first book. I'm really excited to get to this one. I feel like I've heard a lot of good things about this one. So pick 3 for a character older than me. A Photo Finish by Elsie Silver. On to pick number 4. Let's see what we get. I'm just gonna pick this one. There's a A romance book. Okay, we again picked something romance. We're not having a very diverse TBR this month, but the book I know I'm already going to pick is not on my physical TBR. I have it taken out from the library, so I'm just going to show you what it is. I have a video I plan on doing that involves this book and a photo finish. So if you can figure out what it is by that, that's going to be coming soon, is Mixed Signals by B.K. Borson. This is the third book in the Love Light series. This series so far has just been a straight 4-star series. I really liked the first one. I read that one like a year and a half, 2 years ago, and I just read In the Weeds, which is the second book, earlier this month. So if you don't know, there's 4 books in the series and they all kind of follow a season. So book 1 is Love Light Farms, which is supposed to match the winter season. Second book, In the Weeds, is supposed to match spring. Then Mixed Signals is supposed to match summer. So June is when summer starts. So I think this is a good time to read this one, plus it'll go with the video that I'm planning on doing. So for a romance book, we have Mixed Signals by B.K. Borson. Okay, next pick, I want to get one of the ones that aren't so straightforward, like a romance book. Like I want one that's a little more complicated, because I feel like we've gotten all the simple ones I put in here so far. This one. I'm going to show you it. A book you rarely see people talk about. I feel like I have a lot of popular books on my physical TBR. I'm gonna have to have a quick peek. I will get back to you. I picked out 3 books. 2 of them are from my physical TBR and 1 I have from the library. My first option I have is Since You've Been Gone by Morgan Matson. I've had this book on my TBR for well over 2 years, but I just keep putting it off for some reason. I think this is about like her friend dies and she gives her a list of tasks she needs to complete or something like that. Let's see, wait. Oh, she doesn't die, it just says she disappears. So the main character's friend disappears and she leaves her a list of tasks that Emily, who's the main character, would normally never try. But what if they could bring her best friend back? So it's all these kind of out there tasks that she has her complete. So that's one option. I don't know why I keep putting this off, but I do. Then I have Unsub by Meg Gardiner. Look how tiny this book is too. And this is a mystery thriller, and I think it follows, a detective. She's a narcotics detective, but then she's tapped to hunt the killer that haunted her childhood. I've not heard anybody talk about this, but it looks and sounds like a book that people would go feral for. And when I saw the title Unsub, it made me think of Criminal Minds, so that's what first drew me to it. And then our third pick that I think I'm going to go with, because it's from the library, is Heist Royale by Kavion Lewis. This also fits with the theme for the one video I keep talking about. This is the second book to Thieves Gambit. This is a duology. So Thieves Gambit followed a competitive game between teenagers who were all thieves, and whoever wins gets one wish and gets a contract to work for this big organization as a thief for a year. And then the end had a really big cliffhanger / twist, and I read that book in April, so I really want to get to the second one to see where it leads. So I think I'm gonna go with this one, more so because it's from the library and because I'm really excited to read it. So for a book you rarely see people talk about, going with Heist Royale by Kavion Lewis. Okay, so I have 2 more to pick. I'm sad that this is almost already over. I could probably pick more, but we'll see. Okay, we're gonna go with this one. I also feel like I have to sneeze. Okay, that was such a small sneeze, but it actually felt really good. Okay, let's see. A standalone book. Again, that's more of a straightforward one to go with. I'm gonna have a peek at my shelves again. So I chose 4 options again. I'm going to go through them with you again. So I again am bringing up Youth of You by Jessica Joyce and The X-Files by Jessica Joyce. I believe these are both standalones. I might have to check that. And then from just the last prompt, I have Since You've Been Gone by Morgan Matson. After I read the description of this, every time I'm like, oh, I really need to get to that. Then I forget about it again. And then the 4th option is The Wedding People by Alison Espach. I think that's how you say it. I honestly barely know what this is about. I know it's more, I think it's general fiction. Our main character arrives at this place in Rhode Island and everybody mistakes her for being a guest at the wedding, but she's actually the only person there who's not. But she showed up to take this vacation with her husband, but now she showed up without him. And I guess their marriage might be over or something. So maybe she's gonna crash the wedding is my guess. I don't really know. So I think that I'm more so between, sorry Jessica Joyce, not to put you out again, but Since You've Been Gone or The Wedding People. I think I'm gonna go with The Wedding People. This one really gives summer vibes. So does Since You've Been Gone, though, to be fair. I put this on my TBR last month and didn't get to it, so might as well put it on again and possibly not get to it again. So for a standalone, I went with The Wedding People by Alison Espach. Our last pick, or our possible last pick, because I might do one more. We'll see. Let's give it a good shake. Depending on what the prompt is and what book I end up picking, we might pick one more, or we'll pick just this one. Random letter generator. Yes, this is one of the ones I wanted to do because I feel like it's more of a fun one. So I'm gonna pull up a random letter generator on my laptop. Here it is. Ready and spin. F. Okay. F. I know I at least have one, so let me take a quick check and see if I have any more, but if not, then we only have one to go with. Okay, I found two different options and they are completely different from each other. The first one I have is The Fear by Natasha Preston. When I heard the concept for this, I was like, oh my god, I need to read it, but I'm also scared to read it because of the concept. So basically, these people say their fears, I think. So this says, people repost and share what their fears are as this trend, and somebody takes it upon themselves to use their fears against them to kill them, I think, or just scare them. Oh yeah, to kill them. I've read one other Natasha Preston book years ago, The Cellar. Yeah, it was crazy. So I'm kind of nervous to read this one, but I also really want to at the same time. And then our other option, like I said, is completely different from that one, is First Time Caller by B.K. Morrison. I got this one pretty recently, and it looks really good, and it's also set in Baltimore, Maryland, which I'm from Maryland, not quite Baltimore, but close to it. And I always think it's like so fun when a book is set close to where I'm from. Does anybody else feel that way? It feels like getting a shout out. And I know these two follow a radio talk show host, and I think she calls in and they have good banter or something, and they bring her on and they host it together. I don't know. I really don't know which one I want to go with. I think I'm actually going to go with The Fear by Natasha Preston. I'm nervous, but I'm also excited to get into this. So for our 7th prompt, random letter generator, we're going with The Fear by Natasha Preston. I'm going to pick one more because I want to. Okay, let's see. Oops. We're going with this one. A book under 350 pages. Okay, so let's see if this one has 350. I think it's a lot more, actually. Yeah, it's over 400, so that one's not gonna work. I'm gonna take a peek around my shelves because I feel like I should have a lot that are under 350. Out of the Woods by Hannah Bonham Young. This is the second book to Out on a Limb, which was one of my favorite books I read last year. So from the first book, our main female character, her two best friends, Sarah and Caleb, who are together. They are high school sweethearts and have been together for the past 17 years. Now their marriage, I think, is getting a little dull, so I think they go on some excursion to spice up their love life. And then the second option I have, which is, again, very different from Out of the Woods, is Rock, Paper, Scissors by Alice Feeney. This is on my 25 to read in 2025, plus I've put it on my TBR for the past 2 or 3 months, and I really want to get to this. This one's only 290 pages, I think I saw, and then I forgot to say, Out of the Woods is 315 pages, not including the acknowledgements. Mrs. Right and Mr. Wrong. Oh, whoops. That's not it. Mr. and Mrs. Right. Not wrong. This is Mr. and Mrs. Right. Okay, I'm just gonna read you the back. Things have been wrong with Mr. and Mrs. Right for a long time. Every anniversary, the couple exchange traditional gifts, and Adam's wife writes him a letter she never lets him read. Until now. Self-confessed workaholic Adam Wright has face blindness. He can't even recognize his own wife, and Amelia is sick of feeling unseen. When Adam and Amelia win a weekend away to Scotland, it might be just what their marriage needs. This weekend may make or break their marriage, but they didn't randomly win this trip. One of them is lying, and someone doesn't want them to live happily ever after. Okay. I am going with Rock, Paper, Scissors by Alice Feeney for like the 4th month in a row. Hopefully I'll actually get to it this time. For our 8th and final pick, we have Rock, Paper, Scissors by Alice Feeney. Let's go over what I picked again. For my first pick, which was Choose a Book from Shelf 1, we picked Part of Your World by Abby Jimenez, which is the first book in the Part of Your World series. Our second pick is Funny Story by Emily Henry, which the prompt was a book with a cartoon cover, and that is very clearly a cartoon cover. I've heard a lot of mixed thoughts on this book, so I'm excited to see what I think. That's pick number 2. Pick number 3, with a main character that is older than me, I have A Photo Finish by Elsie Silver. This is the second book in the Gold Rush Ranch series. Then for our 4th pick, we have Mixed Signals, which are prompt was just a romance book. I have a video planned for this book, and it's from the library, so I need to return it kind of soon, so this one will be read pretty early in the month of June. Plus, it fits really well for a summer book since I know that one is supposed to be summer inspired. Then for another library book, a book you rarely see people talk about, was our prompt is Heist Royale by Kavion Lewis. This is the second book to Thieves Gambit, which I read in another video. I'm not sure if you will have seen it yet, but I did read it in another video. For our sixth pick, we had a standalone, and I went with The Wedding People. It definitely gives some summer vibes, and I've heard a lot of great things about it. I'm pretty sure it's general fiction, which isn't my normal to go to. Usually I either read romance, mysteries, thrillers, or fantasy, so this will be something new for me. Then for our seventh prompt, we have a random letter generator in which we got the letter F. So I don't count the word the, by the way, when I have a letter generator. The does not count as a word, so I went with The Fear by Natasha Preston. And our last pick is Rock, Paper, Scissors by Alice Feeney, in which the prompt was a book under 350 pages. Okay, here is our stack that I'm not holding very well of books I will hopefully get to in June. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye.